In fact, James Lovelock formed the Gaia hypothesis when basically he was part of the team that was looking for signatures of life on other planets. And just your friend Carr has also written this wonderful paper based on which I wrote that article, in which he says that at one point of time in early formation, life could have come to Earth from Mars, the cyanobacterial level. What is your take on that? That is number one, question number one. Question number two, if in an Earth which was not exactly hostile to life as we know, if the Martian meteorite bombardment could have changed the entire scenario and made life possible on Earth, is it possible that we go there with genetically engineered microbes and do terraforming and change the entire composition of Mars so that we can colonize it? Is it just possible? These two questions.
So yeah, I mean, these are very interesting points, and I'll take the second point first.
Okay.
Is it possible to terraform Mars?
Mm-hmm.
So terraforming Mars is a colossal, humongous, gargantuan project in itself. A few years ago there was this Russian scientist who was trying to distinguish different types of civilization. So he distinguished into 5 types: type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5. So as you progress from 1 to 5, he was trying to increase the capabilities of that particular civilization to carry out humongous changes on a planetary scale, on an interplanetary scale, on a solar system scale, or on a galactic scale. And that also means that these species have certain ability to derive the biggest of the energy sources that are available in their vicinity. If we are to go and terraform Mars, we'll have to graduate from where we are right now, somewhere around type 2 to type 3. So what's type 2? In type 2, you have the ability to bring about significant changes to the planet that you are living in. So for instance, whatever we are doing right now to the climate or to the environment, I'm not saying good or bad, but whatever influence that human species have on this planet is tremendous. You go into outer space, you can see farmlands. There you go. You have a signature. You go into outer space, you switch on your different waves of electromagnetic spectrum. You can see interferences that are created by humans, be it radio or be it whatever, telephone or microwave or whatnot. So again, that's a thing. But once you have to go to another planet, you have to travel 6 months one way, and you have to use all the energy that is available at your disposal to give it an atmosphere. Imagine the amount of energy that we would spend in doing that, and imagine it in the units of ergs and joules, the SI units of energy. So we today talk of rupee, dollar, renminbi, whatnot, rupaya, whatnot, pound, sterling. When you do terraforming, your currency will be ergs and joules. Your currency will be energy. And do we have that currency right now? Can we think of currency in the form of energy? Because it is energy, right?
Right, it is energy.
If you think like a scientist or a planetary scientist, the growing of crops is energy. You're putting in some human energy in it. The farmer is putting that energy, but rest of the energy is coming from your sun. There is a lot of energy coming from the biomass. The biomass comes from dead matter, decaying matter. The amount of energy, it is humongous. It is incalculable.
It is a cycle of energy and matter, nutrients.
Matter. Exactly. So in that case, we'll have to start thinking in that manner, and only then we'll be able to terraform. But here
it is possible, right? It is very much possible.
It is possible. So what here on Earth, what we are trying to do, humans, is both constructively and destructively. So I'm not for it, but it's a fact of life that we are trying to geo-engineer our planet in such a way that we modify the weather here. We suppress hailstorms. Okay. We bring in artificial rain whenever there is no rain. I mean, Karnataka, Maharashtra is famous for that, for bringing in artificial rains, cloud seeding. We are doing it on a very small, sub-regional scale. But to terraform Mars, it will demand some extent of manipulating with the atmosphere here on Earth. Now, I don't justify that. I don't support that because it's a very sensitive thing to do. But we must also remember that as we modify or play with the weather here on Earth, we must make sure that this is the only planet which can house us. This is home to us. So there are limits to testing all these experiments, but these can be easily done on Mars because it's a dead planet.